What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for a PSA mail day. That is right. I got a PSA order back. It does indeed happen. Who knew? Who knew such things were possible? This was a regular card order. So 50 per card, I believe. I think this was 50 per card. Let me double check. Pretty sure this was 50 per card. Yes. 50 per card, 8 card order. This was sent in right before the PSA price increases. So I shipped this out like March 30th, I think. And if you remember, I ripped a box of Marvel Series 2 specifically to get stuff to grade to send in last minute. And I did on that box. It wasn't the greatest box. And I had a few other things laying around. I ripped a box of X-Men Jim Lee, which also was not the greatest box in regards to gradable cards, in my opinion. So, for the details, that shipped out on end of March. It was received by PSA April 16th. And then it shipped from PSA on 7/20. And I got the cards. I am recording this on Wednesday, 7/22. You were probably watching it on Monday morning or Monday afternoon or sometime in the far-flung future. So that's the details on this. 50 card, regular order. So they are into the backlog now. You know, that beginning of March date or beginning of April date, end of March, is when they got slammed with all the orders. And they're now working their way through that to give everyone a little bit of a time frame. Most of the other Marvel card orders I sent in were Super Express or Express. This was just a regular card order because I just wanted to sneak it in through the door. So before we get into the grades, this video is sponsored by My Slabs. We've talked about them before on the channel a couple different times. And what a perfect time to sponsor a video because we got a PSA order back. And you can absolutely list Marvel graded cards on My Slabs. And for those of you that are not aware, My Slabs is an alternative selling site that only charges you a 1% seller fee. And then everything goes through PayPal Goods and Services for buyer and seller protection. Pretty easy to post stuff up there. I have some stuff up there already. I will probably add these after I get back from the National. I'm going to take most of the stuff to the National with me. As soon as I get back from the National, they will probably be going up on My Slabs. So we're going to go to a quick word from our sponsor. And then after that, we will get into the grades on these cards.
Tired of paying 10%, 15%, or more to sell your cards, comics, and digital collectibles? How does 1% sound? Too good to be true? Well, not anymore. MySlabs.com is the web's premier user-driven marketplace for buying and selling slabbed cards, sealed wax, and now slabbed comics and digital collectibles. So the next time you're forced to pay 10% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com and join the 1% revolution.
Once again, thank you to My Slabs for sponsoring this video, and let's go ahead and get into these grades. Only 8 cards. And I will say, you know, there's been a lot of guff lately about PSA grading harder, this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, maybe they're just grading the bulk stuff. I don't know. I will say right off the bat, before I show a single card, I feel like these came out pretty much exactly how I thought they were going to. With one weird one that we'll get into a little story time on. You may remember it if you've watched my previous Marvel grading card reveal. So this is a mix of, there's a couple series 1 cards in here. There is a bunch of series 2, and there is one X-Men Jim Lee card in here. So these are the order that they're in. Once again, I'm part of Team Look, so I have seen these grades already. So first up, we have 91 Marvel Series 2, Captain America. This card looked really good when I pulled it. However, when I was penny sleeving it, I forget, I'd have to go back and watch the video. It slipped out of my hand or slipped out of the penny sleeve, and I was pretty sure the corner got dinged. And I don't remember which corner it was off the top of my head, but But I remember thinking, uh-oh. I sent it anyways because the rest of the card looked solid, and it came back a PSA 8. Not super surprised by this because, like I said, when I sent it, I had a feeling that corner was going to get me. I cannot remember what corner it was. And I don't notice it in the slab, but the slab may be flattening it down a little bit. I think it was this top right. Got nicked when I dropped it. I will say, though, this card looks really good in a PSA slab. The red on the Series 2 with the red of the PSA border, like little color match action there. So this one I'm honestly probably just going to keep. I'll just throw this in the collection. These in a PSA 9, I probably would maybe barely get back my grading fees at $50 a card. In a PSA 8, no chance. So I'll just keep this. It's a cool looking card to display. I like the art image on this one. Always a big fan of this. So this one I'm just going to end up holding on to. Next up, Green Goblin, also for Marvel Series 2. Not air quotes his rookie card, but a cool looking card and not a. Most of the Spider-Man stuff sells pretty well. I think I would probably at least be able to double up on this. So $50 to grade it. I ripped the box, so I wasn't into the box for much. I think these go for like 100 or $125, give or take. And this one got PSA 10. This is the Legends card, so cool looking card. That one snagged a 10. So we have the 10 pile. This I will most likely look to move. Iron Man. Once again, Series 2. I thought this one looked pretty good. I felt pretty strong about this one, and I was indeed correct. Once again, came back PSA 10. And once again, I kind of like, the red of the superhero and the border kind of matching the label there for a little color match almost on the PSA label. This is the first time I've seen Series 2 stuff graded in hand. And I really like the way that this stuff looks slabbed up. This should do pretty well. I think these are going for between 150 and 200, maybe a little bit more. And this order cost me $450 altogether. So I think it was around 450. What was the total here? $429 with taxes and shipping and insurance. So once again, I'm actually going to take this to the National with me. And if it doesn't move there, then I'll try to move it either on my slabs or Facebook groups or whatever. But nice looking card. Wolverine. 91 Series 2. I got one of these back on my last Express order in a PSA 10. I sold that one. I sent this one, and this is one that I ripped. I thought that it looked pretty good, and I was correct. PSA 10. Not sure what I'm going to do with this one. These are still going for a couple $100, I believe. I need to check my 91 prices. I might actually keep this one just because I had one before and let it go. And I always really liked the artwork on this card. It's not as good as the 90 Series 1, but it is a solid looking card. I'll see. It probably depends on how this other stuff goes. As long as I could get even to positive on the submission, I may end up hanging on to this one. We'll see. This one I tossed in because I always thought this was one of the best looking Magneto cards in existence. This is 92 Jim Lee X-Men. Not considered a rookie card or anything crazy like that. And I'm not a big fan of the whole rookie card thing along with the Marvel stuff, but I always love the way this card looks. And I think I am most likely going to keep this card. This is probably going to be a lot more. I'm going to keep these cards submission. This one, I wasn't sure how this would do because I had never graded these before. I pulled a couple of these and I thought this one looked the best. You could see the back centering's off a little bit, but the front centering was pretty dead on, and this did come back a 10. I am the biggest sucker in the world for Jim Lee artwork, so I think I'm going to end up hanging on to this one and just, put it into the collection. To me, this would make a nice display piece with my X-Men #1 Jim Lee with the Magneto cover, the 4-piece cover. I have that in a CGC 9.8. So I would be very happy to put this on a little display stand right in front of that. So this one I am almost for sure going to hang on I would like to grade some more of this set if PSA prices ever come down, but great looking card, great looking artwork. Big fan of that one. Thanos, I threw this one in because this stuff sells pretty well. Um, I don't remember what I thought about this before sending it in. Honestly, everything I sent in, if I only send it if I think it's going to 10. So the only one that I was even remotely questioning was this one because I knew I had a feeling I was screwed on this one, but I just sent it anyways just in case. This one did come back a 9. I don't know why. There's nothing obvious on it when I sent it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sent it. This is he does have a card in 90 Series 1, but I always thought this was the much better looking card. I just, he looks like, the Lord of All there, and I like that Death is in the image as well. Always really like the looks of this card. So I'll probably look to move this. I will most likely lose money on this one. I would be surprised. I might be able to get like 50 out of it, which is what it costs to grade it. I don't know. I haven't looked at the 91 series 2 stuff does not sell as well as the 90 stuff, especially when they have cards in 90. So I'll probably take a loss on this, which I'm okay with. Here we have some 90s series 1. This was a Wolverine limited series most valuable comics cover that they did. I pulled out. I went through my stuff. I have a stack of 90s series 1 stuff that is gradable. It's in Card Savers, but PSA raised their prices. It was more lesser known characters and more one-off stuff. And I felt that this one was pretty good. I wanted to throw a couple more cards in the order, so I went through that stack, and I thought that this was one of the best cards that I had in there, and it did come back in a PSA 10. I will probably look to move this one. I was never the biggest fan of this cover in the world. I do like Wolverine, but I get the appeal for it and why it sells so well. I think this goes for about 100 to 200 bucks. So I will probably look to move this to help cover the cost of the submission. My goal here is just to break even on the submission and keep some stuff out of here. Last but not least, and this is the story time one, we have a Spider-Man black suit from 90 Marvel Series 1. Now, if you remember, and you might not, if you've been following the channel for a while, back when I first started sending stuff in, I super expressed. I opened the box on camera, and my best cards were 3 black suit Spider-Man that all looked fantastic, and a Stan Lee, and there might have been something else in there. I don't remember off the top of my head. I super expressed those, and that was back when Super Express was 200 a card. I think it was just those 4 cards. And in that order, I got the 3 black suits back and the Stan Lee. The Stan Lee got a 9, which I still made money on. I think I sold that for around 500 or 600 bucks. And the 2 black suits came back 10s. The third one came back, did not meet Min's size requirement. Now, what that means is that the card didn't meet their standards for that size card. It was a little too small, too big, whatever, and they didn't grade it. They do not charge you for it. So I looked it up, and basically people had said that sometimes happens. It kind of is what it is. Basically resubmit the card back and see what happens. So I resent the card back because I had it back before I sent this order in, and I thought the card looked super clean, and in fact, it did. It came back a PSA 10. This is the most valuable card out of the lot. These go for about 500 or 600 bucks. I don't think I'm going to sell this one. I would like to pair this up. I have Secret Wars 8 and ASM 252. And I like the idea of displaying this card with that book. So I think what I'm going to do is take this to the National with me. If someone is really interested in it and I could get a cash offer for it, or they're interested in trading for it or whatever, I might move it. But I'm not actively looking to sell it like I would the other stuff in the pile. So I'm going to take it with me to the National. We'll see what happens. But I would kind of like to keep this one. I kind of regretted selling the first 2, but I got close to $1,000 a piece for each one of those. I think I got 1,300 for one and like 1K for the other one. So this is down to about 500 or 600 now. At that price, I don't mind hanging on to this as much. And with those other 2, I was still trying to cover the cost of the box and the cost of grading. which I did very well on that 90 series 1 box. And this came out of that. So this would technically be added to the profits from that box if I sold it. So for right now, I'm going to hold on to it and we will see what happens. But that's the plan for right now. So overall, not a bad submission. I will take it. 6 10s, a 9, and an 8. And once again, the 8 I was almost expecting. So not too shabby overall. That's all I got for you guys and girls today. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff down below. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, My Slabs, for all of your anything graded. You could do cards, comics, sports cards, doesn't matter. If it's slabbed and it's a card or a comic book, you could throw it up on My Slabs with only 1% seller fees. So go check them out there. And like I said, we'll catch you guys and girls on the next one. Lots of national content coming this week. Not sure what I'm going to post Tuesday and Wednesday yet, but the back half of the week, my plan is to hopefully post stuff from the national. We'll see what happens, but catch you guys on that one. Peace.